Here on the Domino's post-game report, Adam Keller alongside Carson-Newman basketball coach Chuck Benson. Chuck, this one was a crazy one. Fell behind by 24, turned to a lineup that I don't know had seen the floor all season, and sparked a comeback. You get it down to 6 in the second half before it felt like you just ran out of time. Obviously, some flaws to this one. Turnovers, free throw shooting proved problematic, but what did you see from your team rallying?
I told him, you have a stat sheet that people want to look at and dissect and all that other good stuff. But what's most important is competitive fire, competitive drive, and I felt like when we made sort of a lineup change there late in the first half, from that point on, obviously our competitive fire, our competitive drive shot up and stayed there. And as I told the team after the game in the locker room, I'm very, very proud of the fight that we demonstrated, but we have to be honest with ourselves individually, and every individual needs to bring that. We've talked about this a lot, man. Winners do the things winners are supposed to do before they become winners. Champions do the things champions are supposed to do before they become champions. And we have guys that have won a lot here. We have guys that have won championships here. But we seem to have lost the plot on the fact that you have to do these things before you get the outcome. And moving forward, we got 6 games to go, a long season to go, still got a lot to play for, and we are going to learn from this game today. I don't know if I can tell you how excited I can't wait to get to the next one. I can't wait to get to the next one. I saw a lot of good things, man. And I think we might have found a few things by accident today a little bit. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how this looks come Wednesday.
You brought up the stat sheet comment. If you look at the stat sheet, it's turnovers and free throws. But at the end of the day, that doesn't feel like the tale of what this game was. Is that a fair assessment?
It's an accurate assessment. It's accurate. Every team has a hierarchy, and we have one as well. Thankfully, we've got 16 guys, and we've got a lot of buy-in. We've got guys that understand role and are fluid in their ability to transition within the role. So, we made some decisions there late in the first half that we felt would give us the best opportunity, and it clearly did. And it's not even a question, it did. The stats are important, man. It sort of gives you some things to consider. But what we found today was how valuable and important it is to compete and to never surrender. And we've got some guys that have got that in them, and it was good to see.
Camden McElhaney, certainly the biggest spark. Career high 10 points, career high 8 rebounds. What did you see out of the Sevier County product?
Huge competitive, just juice, man. He brought it. And yet again, there's an example. Such a it's easy to be a Luke Brannigan who's started game after game after game after game. That's easy. It's hard to be a Camden McElhaney who gets to play minimally at best, and yet he still brings it to practice, and he still prepares from a scouting standpoint, and he's ready when called upon. And so when you see him have the kind of night he had tonight, that's very, very satisfying for him, but it's very, very satisfying for us. So I'm very proud of him and what he showed, which our team needed, and he gave us a chance there to make it interesting.
Was it all, I guess we'll go competitive fire, that brought your team back from the brink? You limit Catawba to 32% shooting after halftime and shoot 50% after halftime. Was it all competitive fire, or was there other ingredients to this sauce?
There's absolutely. If you're going to make tomato soup, you better have some tomatoes. That's sort of the base of the soup. You got the tomatoes to make the tomato soup. So if you ain't got the competitive fire, then nothing else you're doing is going to work.
So you didn't even add basil. You just straight tomato stewed in a pot.
You get some hot water and some basil salt, and that's what you got. Nothing. So we have to have the competitive fire first. That's the main ingredient. And thankfully, the guys on the floor demonstrated it. The guys that were on the floor, and the guys that sat on the bench and watched it. It was tangible. You sat and watched it, Cam. Mm-hmm. Was there not like a marked difference?
Absolutely.
Clear difference. And so, kudos to those guys that did that. And Mac is one prime example. But I thought Jerry Satterfield gave us great minutes. I thought Jack Browder, Junkyard. He's just a junkyard now. Junkyard Jack. He did some nice things. He backed up from nobody. Ben Beaker gave us some quality minutes. So a lot of guys sort of helped set that pace in terms of the competitiveness, and I think going into Wednesday, that will be clearly something that we've got to replicate.
All right, that is the next step. Wednesday, how do you replicate this? Going to the mountaintop to take on the mountain lions of Mars Hill.
Play the guys that do it. Period. Ain't nobody. Play the guys who do that. If I've got a question where you are mentally, or I sort of point towards the chest, but where you are mentally or physically, if I've got a question in that, and because those things you can't bring it, then we're going to thank goodness we have enough guys that can do that, and we'll start right there. I mean, I think I'm a very grace-based coach in trying to let guys work through things. But as we said, man, I mean, if the competitive juice ain't there, then there is no chance. And that's a non-negotiable. That's just a non-negotiable. If you can't bring it physically and mentally, then we don't have problems. So it's really not an individual thing. We all suffer. We all suffer if we don't bring it.
Chuck, pleasure as always. We'll talk to you Wednesday at Mars Hill.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's Carson.